All right. And I see that in the meanwhile, a few other people joined. So I suggest that we get going as we only have 30 minutes. And in the next 30 minutes, we will be quizzing about waste, as you can see in the title on the screen. Well, actually, we'll be talking about more than just waste, because we are currently living in a world where people buy a new smartphone every year, where we have the latest fashion hanging in our closets at all times, where our vegetables in the supermarket are wrapped in plastic, and as a more recent phenomena, where you can see disposable mouth masks lying around in the streets. So you as well might question the way we deal with materials and products and our consumption behavior and the waste that we generate. So today we want to provide you with some insights on the challenges that we are facing in this regard, but also how we can do things differently. And this all in a very fun way, of course. So let's get started. For the quiz, we will be using Kahoot. You will be needing your smartphone, so hopefully you have it somewhere close. With your smartphone, please go to kahoot.it. There you will be asked to enter a game pin, which is displayed on the screen here, and to provide a nickname, and you can be creative, obviously. Then you should be all set to go. The idea is that the questions to the quiz will be shown here on the Zoom screen, and that you can answer the questions with your smartphone. It's also good to know that you can earn a maximum of 1,000 points per question. Of course, you need to get it right in the first place, but your speed also matters. So the faster you answer, the more points you get. And time to answer each question is obviously limited. Okay, so I hope that in the meanwhile, for making it to the Kahoot environment, I will now give the floor to my colleague Saskia.
Okay. Okay, thank you everybody for joining. I'm happy that we are 83 participants for the moment. So that's really great. I just give you a few moments to start logging in to Kahoot. It should be very straightforward. So just grab your smartphone, enter the URL, and then the game pin and a nickname, and then you should be set.
All right. I'll suggest I stop sharing.
Yeah, Anse will stop sharing, and I will start sharing my screen. I hope that it's okay for everybody. So I see already 46 people have entered the Kahoot. If everything goes well, you see your own nickname appearing. And in the meantime, I still admit some people that are in the waiting room. Anse, can you maybe also keep an eye on people that come into the waiting room in the coming minutes?
Yes, will do.
So for the people who have just joined, we will be doing a quiz using Kahoot. So you should just go to kahoot.it and then enter the game pin and a nickname of your own choice. I'm really happy that there are so many people who are joining today. So we're 67 people. If you do not have a smartphone available, you can also do it just in your browser. If you open a secondary tab, you can just do the same basically and play from your computer. You only have to switch tabs, I guess, then. but that's also an option. Okay. Of course, if you're unable to join the Kahoot, no worries. You can just stay in the webinar because you will see all the questions and everything. So that it's not a problem, but it's just more fun if everybody can join. Okay, I think the number is more or less stable for the moment. So we can start. Okay, so the title of this webinar today is Circular Economy Towards a World Without Waste. And first of all, I just want you to think of the way that we consume and work today. All the products we buy today, they need to be produced. And in order to produce these products, we have to extract all the materials and all the stuff that we need, and we have to make open mines across the globe. This obviously has a high impact on the environment. So, and we do not only use a lot of materials, we also use a lot of water. And that's what the first question will be about. How many liters of water do you think that are needed to produce one pair of jeans? Is this 3,000 liters, 5,500 liters, 7,200 liters, or 8,000 liters? You just see these different colors on your smartphone and you tick the right spot. Okay. And here we see the results. So most people think it is 5,500 liters, but actually it is 8,000 liters. Jeans is made of cotton, and unfortunately, the cotton plant needs a huge amount of water to grow. And this water is brought to the fields by extensive irrigation systems. And of course, apart from the production of the cotton itself, also the production of the jeans fabric requires water. For example, for the coloring and for the bleaching. And these environmental effects caused by this big water use, they are actually often invisible to us because the production of textiles mainly takes place in Asia. Okay. As we can see from the ranking, Toto is first, followed by Thrawn and by Iram. Okay, so let's...
Oh, Toto, come on.
Toto doing well. So let's proceed. Let's proceed with the next question. Well, actually, the next part. Of course, we do not only need a lot of resources to produce the products we buy. Our consumption habits also generate a lot of waste. And that's what the next question will be about. How many kilograms of household waste do you think is generated by an average European? Is it 130 kilograms? It's the weight of a pig. Is it 370, the weight of a pony? 490, the weight of a grizzly bear? Or 720, the weight of a bull? How much household waste do we generate each year? Okay, here, yeah, it's a 50-50. And it is the weight of a grizzly bear, 490 kilograms. Of course, almost half of this waste is separately collected for recycling or for composting. So, for example, it is about glass waste, paper, metals, or organic kitchen waste that are collected by municipalities in a separate way. But of course, this means that the remaining other half is landfilled or incinerated, meaning that the materials there are lost. Let's see how this does to the ranking. Oh, Toto is still first. Great, but now Gloria has come in second and Labecca has come in third. Okay, let's see where that takes us. I let Anse take you to the next part.
Well, as you may know, many of our waste products actually contain a lot of valuable materials that can be recycled or reused. And by recycling waste, we actually avoid the need for mining new materials. This reduces pressure on finite mining reserves, but also saves a lot of energy since recycling typically needs less energy than mining and producing new materials. So our next question to you is, how much copper does 1 ton of old smartphones contain? Is it 10 kilograms? Is it 50 kilograms? Is it 100 kilograms or is it 150 kilograms? Okay, let's see. The answer was 100 kilograms of copper. I see that most of you guessed that it would be 50, but actually it's twice as much. And mind you, 1 ton of old smartphones also contains 600 grams of silver and even 300 grams of gold. So you can definitely state that old smartphones contain a lot of very valuable materials. And by recycling 200 old smartphones, you can actually already make a golden ring. So it is very useful to collect old electronics for recycling. So this evening, maybe you should check your drawers or your attics for old devices that you could offer for recycling. But we can luckily also save energy by recycling, as recycling uses less energy than extraction of new resources. So next question for you. How long, I see the scoreboard, also interesting to have a look at that one. Andrea is now on top, I see. But the next question is, how long can a TV play with the energy that is saved by recycling an aluminium can instead of producing a new one? Is it 30 minutes? Is it an hour? Is it 2 hours? Or is it 3 hours? Yeah, it's actually 3 hours, so that's pretty long. By recycling 1 kilogram of aluminium, you actually save 14 kilowatt hours of energy. And you can actually also say that aluminium is among the materials that is the easiest to recycle. So let's see what that does to the scoreboard. A switch again. Now Elena is on top.
Okay, great. So if we want to avoid the depletion of our finite resources, such as oil or metals or minerals, we can consider using other type of materials that are renewable, for example. For example, plastics that are normally made of oil can also be made of plant materials, and then we call those bioplastics. The next question will be about what do you know about bioplastics? Okay, which of the following statements is not true? Bioplastics reduce CO2 emissions because they are not made of fossil fuels. Some bioplastics are completely identical to their fossil counterparts. All bioplastics are biodegradable, or bioplastics can be made out of sugar, wood, or organic waste. Which one is not true? Okay, we see here that most people think it is the second option, but actually the correct answer is that not all bioplastics are biodegradable. Of course, bioplastics are very valuable materials. So some bioplastics are actually completely identical to their fossil counterparts, which means that they can easily replace these fossil plastics into the applications. But instead of from fossil fuels, these bioplastics are made from biomaterials such as sugarcane, wood, or even organic waste. And in this way, they help to reduce the use of fossil fuels and they contribute to the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. So they help to combat climate change. However, it is a very important thing to note that not all bioplastics are biodegradable. To turn into real compost, most of them really need a specialized industrial process. So it's very important to keep in mind, never throw a product out of bioplastic in nature or just into the kitchen waste, because it will not biodegrade. Okay, let's see what this does to the ranking. Oh, Elena is still on top, followed by Labecca and Nini. Okay, back to you, Anse.
Yes. Because not only recycling and the choice of materials matters to make a product better for the environment, and also the way a product is designed and assembled is very important. For example, when a product consists of different parts that can be easily taken apart, it can actually easily be repaired as well. And in that way, you don't need to replace a product, a full product, when some components break down or need to be upgraded. So the next question that is coming your way is, which design method does not contribute to repairability? Is it using glue to join parts together? Is it using components with standardized sizes and connections? Is it using as little different tools as possible for assembling? Or is it using screws and other reversible connectors? Okay, I think most of you got it absolutely right. Indeed, the answer is using the glue, because when you're using glue, it's typically difficult or even impossible to disassemble different parts later on when we want to repair or sort different materials for recycling. Instead, it's actually much better to use screws or other reversible methods to join parts together so they can also be disassembled in an easy way. And of course, it is even the best option is actually to just use standardized screws that you can with any screwdriver.
Ma come cazzo si fa, Andrea? Usa la
What happens to the scoreboard in this way? Elena is doing very well. Okay, the floor is yours again, Saskia.
Okay, so recycling and buying more sustainable products, those are two ways to lower our impact on the environment. But this only is not enough. We also need to use our products longer, for example. But unfortunately, often we throw away products even if they can still be used or repaired. And the next question is about that. How long do we use our smartphones before buying a new one on average? Is that 1.5 years, 2 years, 3 years, or 3.5 years? Okay, most of you have it right, which means that you probably also throw away your smartphone quite soon. It is indeed only 1.5 years. Sometimes we replace our smartphone because it is broken, but maybe sometimes also because we simply would like to have the latest new model. And that's a bit of a pity, because by repairing our phones or choosing a second-hand phone, we can not only save a lot of money, but we also prevent waste and greatly reduce our impact on the environment. Remember that every item that you do not buy does not need to be produced. So that saves a lot of environmental impact. Another question on our use of products. Oh yeah, let's see the ranking. So, oh, Nini has taken over from Elena, which is, yeah, okay, it's going to be quite exciting to see who wins. Okay, so the next question. How much of its lifetime does a car spend unused in the garage? Most of us have cars in our household, but how much of the time is it actually just in the garage and not being used? Actually, it is 96% of the time. So many products we own, we do not really use very often. And indeed, in a study in America, it showed that an average car spends 96% of its lifetime parked in a parking lot or in some garage. And now we can think of, yeah, is this actually an efficient way of using our products? What if we would, for example, share our cars so that multiple households could make use of the same car? In this way, this one car will be used much more efficiently and less cars need to be produced to fulfill our needs for transport. Maybe you have already noticed that in many cities, car sharing services are already available. And these often work on a pay-per-use basis, which means that you only pay for the amount of time or kilometers that you use the car. This could be, on one hand, much cheaper than actually owning a car, but it also saves on the number of cars that are parked in the street. And this pay-per-use system does not only exist for cars, but also for many other products, such as washing machines, tools, or even movies on demand. So let's see what this question has done to our ranking. This was the final question. Oh, we'll just have to wait for that for a few seconds. So yeah, just the floor to you, Anse.
Okay, so let's keep it, that's nice, keep some tension. That was indeed the final question. We already want to thank you for participating. We do hope that you have learned something about the challenges of our current way of consuming and that you gained some inspiration to deal with products and waste in a different way in your daily life, to maybe consume a bit less, to use products longer, to repair, to reuse, to sort, to recycle, because these are actually the building blocks of the circular economy, a system in which waste no longer exists. And if you want to know more about this concept, you can always visit our website, ecoceo.eu, or you can maybe inform your teacher, and so he or she will maybe dedicate a class to it. Now, before we go to the final score, Saskia still has a final question for you.
Okay, so we would like to make a word cloud as a final question, and we want you to put 1 to 3 words in this box that you can type in on what you will take away from this quiz. You have 20 characters, maybe just 1 word or 2 words, new insight or something that you would take away to your personal life. And then we go to the final score to see who has won this quiz. Still half a minute left.
In the meanwhile, I will be making a screenshot, so feel free to turn on your cameras. Always it's a bit nicer when we can see some faces.
Okay, we see a lot of words here. Recycle, how not to waste, waste is common, good, nice job, a Merry Christmas wish even. plastic efficiency, great. Thank you all for participating. And then we'll just show you the final score. Will it be Elena? Will it be Nini? Will it be Toto? Will it be somebody else? We'll see. Here is the podium. On the third spot, with 4 questions right out of 8, Xiaone. With 5 questions, Elena. And the last one, the winner of the quiz, Nini. Congratulations, Nini. Maybe you can just put on your camera and unmute yourself and just say hello to everybody. No? Not a good idea?
You could try, at least.
If you just say something, you will appear normally in the screen so everybody can see you. No, okay. Nini does not want to or is not able to for the moment. Okay, I think that is the end of the quiz that we prepared on circular economy and how we can avoid to produce more waste. We hope that you enjoyed it. I really did, actually. So, and I wish you a very nice continuation of the afternoon. Maybe you're up for some other workshop, or if not, I wish you a very nice weekend.